Hey y'all, Austin here with Outer World Media. Welcome back to another book review. This time again we are talking Louis L'Amour, and this time guys we are talking 1978's Fair Blows the Wind. I have my first edition hardcover right here in the background, as you can see here, just kind of for y'all to get a visual. I do have my mass market paperback edition as well. So getting into this, guys, what is this book about? If you watched my weekly update or TBR for the month of August, I talked about how I wanted a pirate story. I had read The Shadow Riders 2-3 months back, and pirates were introduced in that book somehow naturally. So that got me really itching to read a book by Louis L'Amour about pirates. I know that Hyde and Reed also felt the same way. So I was hoping that, this was going to be completely about pirates and that I was going to be able to tell Hyde and Reed, hey, you know what? Read this book. Well, let's get into it. Was this book about pirates? Just kind of going over what this book is real quick, guys. So this is about Tayton Chantry. So essentially, Tayton was exploring the Carolinas region. Went ashore with some people from a ship, and they were attacked by Indians and whatnot, and it's about him trying to figure out how to survive and get out of the wild, out of this area. He realizes that he could go north to some settlements or go south to some settlements and see, try to get some help and whatnot. And along the way, he runs into an unexpected party of Spaniards that he did not expect to find. And all of this happens within the first chapter or two. I'm not giving anything away, I don't think, because most of that is, on the blurb and the back. So we are thrust straight into this situation that he has found himself in. Does it stay that entire way? No, it does not. So, like I said, the first, few chapters are about that, and then we kind of jump back and forth between modern time where he's there in the Carolinas with this group of Spaniards that he's found, and then we jump back to when he was younger and whatnot. This book does have quite a few of the standard Louis L'Amour tropes. Like I said, he comes across some Spaniards. They don't really know what they're doing. There's a couple women with them, and they were their ship sunk. Sorry guys, I can't speak, and whatnot. And so Chantry's trying to help them as best he can and whatnot. And that's just kind of going over, this book is, will they, get out alive? Will they not? So this book, like I said, jumps back and forth between, modern times. We're in Chantry, and that's what I'm going to call him. Chantry's in the Carolinas and when he was a kid. Most of this book, I'm not going to lie to you guys, most of this book, probably well over 2/3 of this book, is about how Chantry came to be on that land, how he came to be in America at that point in time. So this is definitely an adventure book for sure. There's quite a bit of sword fighting in this book. This is a book that I could definitely see, if you reread this 2-3 times, I could definitely see this book going up in most people's rankings. Judging by the cover you see here, you expect it to be completely about pirates and whatnot, and that is in here. Don't get me wrong. But I just want to say, I feel like the cover here is a little misleading, because while there is pirates in this book, the focus of this book mostly is about Chantry and how he came to be. It goes to, like I said, starts with him being a young boy, and as he gets older and all the stuff that he gets into, his arch nemesis and whatnot. How he goes to war, and all this. I mean, he ends up meeting Henry the third or the eighth, I forget which one. I think it was Henry the third and whatnot. Has a conversation with him. So Louis L'Amour definitely covers quite a bit of historical stuff in this book. Again, I don't want you guys going into this thinking that it's completely about pirates. While that is in this book, that is not what it's predominantly about. There is quite a bit of sword fighting. I will say that. If that is something you're looking for, definitely give this book a try. And that's as much as I can really say. Like I said, without giving too much away. He's Irish. So he flees from Ireland. If the English capture him, they'll kill him. So he has to tell them, go by a different name than what he actually is and whatnot. And it's really a fascinating read. Like I said, before I started this, I was expecting pirates, and that's what I was wanting when I went into this. Looking back in hindsight now, did I get the amount of pirates that I would have wanted when I first picked up this book and started? No, I did not. That's not a bad thing though, because this book takes you on such an adventure that was kind of moved back. It wasn't in the forefront like I wanted to be. There was plenty of action in this book without there being, a whole lot of piracy in this book. This, like I said, this is definitely one. If you go in with one expectation, as far as, like I said, with it wanting just strictly pirates and battles and whatnot on ships, you are going to get a little bit of that. But like most Louis L'Amour books, he takes you on, an adventure. And in 340 something pages, we cover a hell of a lot of ground in this book. Like I said earlier in this review, there's the typical tropes in this book. One thing that I could see people having an issue with, really, once you get about 3/3 of the way through the book, you kind of figure out near the end who the final battle is going to be with, or his final fight, who it's going to be with. So it's not, he's not trying to hide it by any means. You can deduce, if you've read enough Louis L'Amour books, or I feel like if you just pay attention enough in this book, you'll figure out who it's going to be against. So again, that can be a deterrent for some folks, because some folks would want to know, not want to know, I should say, who it's going to be against. They want that element of surprise. Again, having read however many Louis L'Amour books at this point, I figured it out. Again, that's not a bad thing. That just made me, want to get there. That made me enjoy the ride more than the destination in this book, just because I was like, okay, I already know who, the big fight's going to be against. What's going to happen in between in this last, these last 100 pages? Who's this going to be against? What's going to happen? And I think that's what he does a really great job of in this book. Like I said, the cover is misleading to a certain extent. The blurb on the back, while it doesn't, I read it again just to make sure, it doesn't say that it solely focuses on pirates. It says all kinds of stuff that happens, and that's true. There is a lot that happens in this book. So if you're, someone like me or Hyde who's wanting to get, a hold of a Louis L'Amour book about pirates, this is probably, from what I have read, I have not read every single Louis L'Amour book, I will be honest. I haven't even read, I haven't even read half of them at this point. This is probably going to scratch that itch to a certain extent for you. But again, this was such a great book. If you've read like The Lonesome Gods, that's probably going to be the comparison I have for this, is The Lonesome Gods by Louis L'Amour. I enjoyed this more than I did The Lonesome Gods. Now I know that there's people that they really enjoy The Lonesome Gods. I hope you enjoy this book as much as you did that one. But I could see this being that one, an author, I feel like there's quite a few authors that they have, this book or that book, or like a movie, like, Dante's Peak or Volcano. People tend to like one or the other. I feel like that could be the situation with this, just because I feel like this was in the same vein as The Lonesome Gods, but I feel like this one was more of an adventure. This essentially is The Lonesome Gods, but and pirates in it, essentially. It's not in the West, not set out in the Old West. This is more back east, kind of like I don't even want to say medieval Europe. This is definitely, like the late 1800s, mid 1800s. If I had to guess again, sorry, I don't know why I said 1800s. 1600s. Well, I don't know why I said 1800s. I know somebody's going to give me crap down in the comments, and I have a feeling it's going to be faceless. But again, guys, like I said, this I feel like is in the same vein as Lonesome Gods. So if you have not read The Lonesome Gods, give this one a chance. I think if you come across Lonesome Gods in this, my personal opinion, I would pick this up over The Lonesome Gods, but you know what? That's just me. Like I said, I feel like it's Dante's Peak and Volcano. I feel like people can enjoy both, but they're going to probably lean towards one over the other. And for me, that's got to be Fair Blows the Wind. This one, I feel like I would pick this up over The Lonesome Gods. But again, like I said, that just wanted to get this review out real quick. I really enjoyed this book quite a bit. We're starting off strong for the month of August, definitely. That's the issue I have with reading these Louis L'Amour books, is as soon as I finish one, I want to start another one. But again, guys, that is my review of Fair Blows the Wind, and I just want to bring my first edition up here so y'all can see the magnificence that is the cover of this. I also want to show the back, because this man doesn't get enough credit in the world of literature and books and whatnot. I feel like he's an afterthought at this point. I feel like he has not gotten his dues, the respect that he deserves. But again, guys, Fair Blows the Wind by Louis L'Amour. Pick this up, order it on Amazon, find it at your local used bookstore, brand new bookstore. If you come across it at Walmart, wherever, pick it up. I can almost guarantee you will enjoy that book. But again, guys, I do appreciate every single one of you that stops by and watches my videos. Thank you.